Hi, Porchester families. In our most recent parent workshop for kindergarten through fifth grade, we hosted a family internet safety night. And in this evening, we had families join with their students to have conversations about internet safety. So, in this recording, I do want to share with you some of the information that we shared during that parent workshop. But throughout this video, I am also going to pause at certain points to encourage families to talk with their children about each of the items in this video. So, I do encourage you, if you're a parent or a guardian, to go get your child and to watch this video together. Now, in this video, we are going to cover how to be a good digital citizen, and we're going to talk about why it's important for us to pause and think whenever we're using the internet. So, one of the terms that I'm going to use throughout this video is the term digital citizen. And a digital citizen is a member of a worldwide community linked together by the internet. So, a digital citizen is basically anyone who uses a device that's connected to the internet. So, whether we're connecting through our phone, through our tablet, through our Chromebook, or through a computer, we need to be sure to be responsible when we're communicating with others online. Now, digital citizens might have accounts on all different types of websites, maybe like BrainPop or Google Classroom for school, or maybe even different websites or games that you play with or that you explore in your personal time, like TikTok or Roblox. But basically, a digital citizen is basically any single person who has an account on these websites who is linked together to other people who also are using that game or also are using that app or website. So within this, there can be a lot of great reasons to have accounts for some of these websites. So some websites, by having an account, you can save your progress, and you don't always have to go back to the first level because the game or the website remembers where you were. Other websites actually collect data from people who make accounts. So maybe they might keep track that this website has a lot of third graders. And in doing that, they determine that they need to make more content and more activities for third grade because that's where most of their users are. So with this, there can be a lot of good reasons to make accounts for all of these different websites and games that you're exploring. But the thing that you need to keep in mind is that you should probably not make an account for every single website that you visit because websites can be made by anybody, and anybody who's making the website can collect data on you. And if you're telling them that you're in third grade or fourth grade or fifth grade, they're going to collect that data into their database. So they're going to have information on you for every single account that you make. So it's really important that you pause and think anytime you're going to be making an account. Like, should I do this? Is this a good idea? Now, I will mention that the two pictures here actually refer to videos from a great website called Common Sense Media. I am going to link these on our Porchester Parent Technology webpage because I think they are great songs to watch with your students and with your families. So I would highly recommend pausing this video, jumping over and watching those songs, which are in English and in Spanish, and then coming back to this video to continue so we can talk about some of the items for this song. But if you don't jump over to watch the videos now, I do still want to go through the 6 important items that they cover in this video, which is balance with your arms, listen to your gut, make good tracks with your feet, stand up with your legs, feel with your heart, and think with your head. So within this, I do want to talk about each of these specifically. So the first thing is balancing with your arms. Now, with this, it's really important that we find a balance between using technology and using the computer and using the phone and using the tablet and doing things that don't require using technology. So what I am going to encourage you to do now is if you're watching this as a parent with your child, I would pause the video here and discuss this question. What do you like to do when you're not using technology? So pause the video, discuss it for a couple of minutes, and then come back and continue together. So there can be so many great things that you can do when you're not using technology, and so many fun things that we can do together. And it's really important that we take a break from using the computers or the phones all of the time. And that's what they mean in the song when they tell us to balance with our arms. Find a balance between doing things digitally and doing things unplugged, which don't require any technology. Now, the next thing that they mention in the song from Common Sense Media is to listen to your gut. And with this, they really mean listen to your instincts. So if you see something pop up on your computer when you're using it that says win a free iPad, if you think about this, it probably isn't real. And that's because no stranger is going to come and give you a free iPad. But sometimes it can be so tempting, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a free iPad. Yes, I won. But the thing is that it's really important that we listen to our gut instincts when things like this come up digitally. Because if I were to say, oh my gosh, I won a free iPad, this website is probably going to ask me for my name and my phone number and my address. And that information is information that we shouldn't be sharing with strangers on the internet. So it's really important that when we see something that we think with our head and listen to our gut if it seems like it's real or if it seems like it's a safe thing to be doing. And if it doesn't seem safe, then don't do it. So the next thing that they talk about is making good tracks with your feet. So with this, whenever you're using the computer, we need to keep in mind that there's different information that we can share about ourselves. And this is information that we can share on websites or through apps. And some of this information is private information. So with this, that would be something that's really private to you, that's really unique to you. Something like your phone number, or something like your home address, or your birthday, or even your full name, your first name and your last name, or perhaps the number on a social security card or a credit card. So this information is private to you. And this information is information that would be very dangerous to share if a website was asking you for this information, or if an app was asking you for this information. This is information that we would not want to share out publicly. Now, the other type of information that we have about ourselves is personal information. And this personal information is something like your favorite fruit, or like your opinion, oh, do you like school or not? Or something like your favorite hobby, or your nickname, or even your favorite sport. This is information that's still personal to you. It's still unique to you, but it's not dangerous to share this information. It's not going to put me in danger if somebody knows that I like soccer, but it would put me in danger if somebody knows my home address. So it's really important whenever we make accounts on a website or whenever we share information on a website that we're thinking about what information would be dangerous to share and what information might be okay to share. Because we need to be sure that the tracks that we're leaving online don't lead someone to our home address or don't lead someone to be able to steal our credit card number. And that's really important for us whenever we're using the computer, whenever we're using the internet. And here's the thing that I want to mention with this is I'm guessing that some of the families watching now are our elementary school families, our youngest students. And I know that right now college can seem so far away. But the thing is that right now the things that you're doing on the computer, the games that you're playing, that information is still going to be there in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years. So it's really important to keep in mind that everything you're doing now can be tracked and can be saved for the future. And right now, colleges are already looking up candidates who apply to their school. And when these colleges look people up, some of them are actually finding positive information about applicants, like people who started clubs in their school or people who did volunteer work. But with this, some of the colleges are actually already finding information about people that is negative. So maybe posting something inappropriate on a website, or maybe sharing information that isn't safe to share. And when you get older and when you apply to college, you don't want that college to look you up and then find that you've shared something a long time ago, but something that they found to be inappropriate. So it's really important that even now we're already thinking about what information is safe to share and that we're leaving good tracks and good information about ourselves online. And the other thing that I want to mention with this is that sometimes people share information in websites or in games, and it's actually being shared publicly, even though you think it might be only shared to your friends. So it's really important that if you have any accounts like Roblox or TikTok, it's really important that you go into those settings with your family and that you go into the privacy settings and make your account a private account. Now, with this, It's going to look a little bit different in every website or every game, but it's really important to go in and change this setting so that your account isn't public to the world, so that it's private only to you. But even with that, I do just want to mention that even if your account is private, you still want to be sure that you're being thoughtful about what information you share, because if your account gets hacked, that information can still get out there. So it's really important to keep in mind that even though your account may be private, you still need to be sure that you're being thoughtful about what is safe to share and what's not safe to share. The next thing that they had mentioned in the song is feeling with your heart. So just like when we talk to people, when we are talking to them in person, we need to be sure that we're always being kind with our words. And this is especially important if we're talking with people or communicating with people digitally. So with this, I want you to just think for a minute about how do you communicate with friends and family online? Do you send text messages or emails, or do you do video chats? Think about how you keep in touch with your friends and family through technology. And now that you've thought about that, think about why is it important to be kind when you talk to people through those different platforms? Why is it important to use kind words, especially when we are online? And what I will do now is, hopefully you are watching this video as a family. I will encourage you to pause the video and have a conversation about why it's important to be kind online, and then we'll come back here after you have that discussion. So I hope you had a good discussion about why it's important to be kind online. I will say that it's important to be kind all of the time. We already know that, but especially with the internet, because the messages can live forever. So it's really important that whenever you are putting something in writing to somebody else, or even if it's via a video chat, it's really important that you're using kind words to that person. Now, the next part of the song talked about standing up with our legs. And with this, I really want to focus on what to do if you see someone on the internet who isn't doing the right thing. So, if you're seeing messages from a friend or within a game in a public server, what should you do if you see someone who isn't being kind online? And I will have you pause the video again and have that discussion, and then join us back after you're done. So hopefully you had some good discussions about what you should do if you see someone who isn't being kind online. But it's really important that we take some sort of action. And with this, we have a couple of different options that I just want to talk about. So the first thing would be to step away. Go into the game, report the person, block the person, and then leave the game. Take a break from using the computer or using the tablet or using the phone at all. Step away from the technology and go back to those things that you enjoy doing that don't use any technology at all. And just take a break from it for a little bit. The next thing would be to tell a trusted adult. This could be somebody in your house. This could be an adult in your school, like a teacher who you work with. But it's really important that if something is happening on the computer that makes you upset, that you tell someone, that you tell an adult, because adults often have such great insight for this to help you through it. The next thing you could do is visit a website or game that you can't communicate with anyone in. Maybe going in to something like Typing Club, where nobody can go in and talk to you if you're doing Typing Club. Think about what you can do on the computer that would be a safer thing to do, that wouldn't put you in contact with the people who are frustrating you with whatever messages they're sending. And the last thing would be to just pause and think, because every situation is different. And depending on if you're in a game or if you're in an app, pause and think about what your next step needs to be. And report the person, block the person, leave the game, but definitely be sure that you tell a trusted adult. So think about what the best choice would be to take, but always be sure that you keep an adult in the loop about what's going on with it. Now with this, the last thing that they mentioned in this song is think with your head. So there's a couple of different questions here because there's so many things we should be thinking about, but I want to talk about a couple of things specifically. So the first thing would be, why shouldn't you share your username and your password with other people? So I want you to pause for a second again and have this discussion as a family, and then come back to our video. So I hope you had a good discussion about this, but it is so important that we don't share our username and password with other people. Because I know I had mentioned before, make your account private. But if you give your password to somebody else, your account isn't private anymore. That person could obviously change your settings, but they also have access to all of your information in that game or on that website. And they can change things, they can contact people pretending that they're you. So it's really important that you do not share your username and password with anybody except a trusted adult. It's okay if your parents have your password for your Google Classroom because they might use it to check your assignments. But you want to be sure that you're not sharing that username or password with your friends or anybody else, only with a trusted adult. The next question that I want to talk about is when we talk about thinking with our head, I want to think about things we see on the internet because there's so many different videos out there and there's so many different websites out there that can give us different information. So the next question that I want us to discuss is, do you believe everything you see on the internet? So pause this video and have a quick discussion and then we'll come back together. So with this, I know that it can be so tempting because so many things on the computer seem real or look real, but it's really important that we don't just believe everything that we see. It's really important that if you see something on the internet that you do your research to check if it's true or not. And one way to do this is to do research on what you found. So with this example, eating ice cream makes you smarter. You can look online and search, does eating ice cream make you smarter? And try to focus on websites that you know are reputable, that put out truthful information. And this is something that you can touch base with your families about or touch base with your teachers about if you're not sure what websites are reputable or not. But it's really important that you look and see if you can find that same information on at least 3 different websites. Because if you can't find it everywhere, it's probably not true. So it's really important that you pause and think and don't just believe everything the first time that you read it, but really do your research to see if it's true or not. So with this in this video, I hope you had some good discussions as a family on each of these 6 items here. I would definitely recommend visiting our Parent Technology website to watch the videos, which we have in both English and Spanish on this, and to go through and to make sure that you are balancing with your arms, listening to your gut, making good tracks with your feet, standing up with your legs, feeling with your heart, and thinking with your head anytime that you are using the computer or internet to connect with other people. And with this, the last thing that I will say is just thank you to all of our families. I know that we so appreciate you coming and engaging in these videos with your students, and particularly in attending our family nights. So we're hoping to offer more opportunities for our families to come together and have conversations about technology and so many other things. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned to our district website as well as to the phones, texts, and emails to come through for any upcoming parent workshops that we have related to technology, the computers, safety, or anything else that our families need. So I hope you guys are well. Thank you so much for watching this video and be sure to stay tuned to our website for anything new.